Killing someone with an axe. What if I told you? This isn't a movie plot. It actually happened. In 1976, a seemingly simple tree pruning operation between North Korea and the US suddenly escalated into an axe murder and pushed the entire Korean Peninsula to the brink of war. What happened during those 4 minutes of deadly silence shocked the world, and what followed became known as the most expensive tree-cutting operation in history. Let us take you through the chilling truth behind it all. The year, 1976. The place, the Joint Security Area in Panmunjom, where South and North Korean soldiers stand face to face. There stood a massive poplar tree, over 30 meters tall. The problem? It blocked the line of sight, creating a blind spot where North Korean forces could potentially kidnap or attack UN soldiers. So the UN decided to simply trim the branches. But then, North Korea responded. That tree was personally planted by President Kim Il-sung. It is sacred. Don't touch it. And just like that, a tree turned into an ideology. A plant became a political weapon. August 18th, early morning. A UN team begins trimming the tree in peace. Among them are Captain Boniface and Lieutenant Barrett. But soon, 15 North Korean soldiers approach. Leading them is the infamous Lieutenant Pak Chul, nicknamed Lieutenant Bulldog by UN troops for his aggression. At first, he protests verbally. But when Captain Boniface ignores him and calmly continues the work, Pak quietly removes his wristwatch and shouts, "Kill them all." Hell breaks loose. The North Korean soldiers launch a sudden attack, using axes, iron pipes, and their bare fists. Captain Boniface is struck in the head with an axe and killed instantly. Lieutenant Barrett tries to flee, but is later dragged out from the bushes and brutally murdered. In less than 4 minutes, 2 UN officers are savagely killed. And it all started because of a tree. Shockwaves ripple through the United States and around the world. Headlines scream, US officers killed with axe by North Koreans. Outrage erupts in South Korea. Meanwhile, North Korea begins its propaganda broadcast. The American imperialists trespassed and attacked us first. But they didn't know. The entire incident had been captured on US military cameras. The world watched the footage, and no one believed North Korea's story. In Washington and Seoul, it's full-blown crisis mode. The US raises its global forces to DEFCON 3, just one step below war. President Gerald Ford, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, and South Korean President Park Chung-hee convene emergency meetings to decide their next move. Retaliation against North Korea, but a direct military strike that could trigger an all-out war. So the US and South Korea come up with a brilliant alternative: cut down the tree completely. But this isn't just about trimming branches. It's called the most heavily armed tree-cutting mission in history. Codename, Operation Paul Bunyan. August 21st, just before dawn. Over 800 troops in full combat gear gather at Panmunjom, joined by warplanes, helicopters, and elite special forces. While combat engineers rev up chainsaws to cut the tree, Korean special forces stand guard, gripping clubs made from axe handles, glaring directly at the North Korean side. One soldier even wrapped himself with claymore mines, shouting, "Come any closer, and I blow us all up." North Korea, completely stunned, faced with helicopters, bombers, jets, and an overwhelming show of force. They said nothing. Not a single shot was fired. In just 42 minutes, the massive poplar tree was cut down to its stump, and all the North Korean soldiers could do was silently watch. 10 p.m. that same night, North Korea urgently reaches out to the UN command, delivering an official message. It's a rare statement of regret from President Kim Il-sung himself. "We regret the Panmunjom incident. We will do our best to ensure that such things do not happen again." In North Korea's history, this was one of the closest things to an apology ever made by Kim Il-sung. The US treated the message as a de facto apology and de-escalated the crisis. In the years that followed, North Korea would refrain from further provocations in the joint security area. An axe murder was met not with war, but with a bold, symbolic tree-cutting operation. And somehow, it changed North Korea's stance, marking a turning point in history. Killing someone with an axe, yes, it really happened. And one tree nearly pushed the entire Korean Peninsula to war. Today, where that towering poplar once stood, there is now a small memorial. Etched into the stone are two names, Captain Arthur Boniface and Lieutenant Mark Barrett, and a solemn inscription. At this site, 2 UN officers were killed by North Korean soldiers. There is no tree now, but the tension, the sacrifice, and the harsh reality of the Korean Peninsula still echo through that quiet stone marker. Now, you know. This wasn't just about cutting a tree. It was a story. Standing at the edge of war and peace,